Alright, welcome back Band-Aid and anybody else that's using this as reference material. This is us starting at the second boss, or after the first boss of VOS, but this is continuation of the first video to where we have finished the first boss, and this is the section after that first boss that we're trying to head through. One of the things that's going to happen, there's going to be a lot of ads that spawn during this phase. You're going to be attached to Lumi, which is the glowing yellow beacon here right in the middle. If you get too far away, basically the distance between here and this circle that's on the outer edge is the space that is safe around Lumi. If you get further beyond that, you're going to start to take a damage over time hit that gets exponentially higher as you go along. So one of the things that you want to do is stay close to the light throughout this whole part of this phase. So it teleports us on in, the light spawns, we take a little bit of damage at the beginning, and we will start to move forward. One of the things, I tend to like to use the same setup that I used at the first boss. And in here, the Q, which is Enforced Threat, that is a small AoE effect around myself. So basically, I would say not even the size of the circle that Lumi provides is the Enforced Threat distance. So you need to get up close, make sure that you're up close and personal when you hit that, and then start doing some and then start using some of your at-wills basically to generate threat, because at that point in time your at-wills for the next several seconds after you use Enforced Threat will increase your threat. So just make sure that you go through and give a hit on the various different mobs in the group after you use that. Again, I'm still using Frozen Journal here, and I'm also, I believe, using the Vortex to pull everything on in. And I have the Turbine, so you'll see me at different various times, hopefully moving out from the light to take a little bit of damage, move one in, and then use my shield. And what that will do is it will give me my action points back. You can set it up to where you can get your action points back for every other one of the mob sets on in here. So let's continue forward. And first mob set here. Use my Vortex, then Enforced Threat, and just trying to make sure I keep aggro. Got daily, so if I'm smart, I should be using my daily here in the next mob set, which should be coming up here shortly. I think it's about a 30-second window in between every single one of these mobs from the point in time that the first one spawns. And there I go, daily, pulls everything on in, and there we go to kill everything there. So at this point in time, you see me run off, I take a little bit of damage right there, and now I'm blocking. And you'll notice my action points are now going on up. So this will allow me to have a higher amount of action points, get hopefully to the next set of mobs, and I will be closer, not quite there, to being able to use the Turbine again. But it looks like someone else in the party is also using Turbine, so there we go in terms of using that. And it's just staying near the Lumi or the light source. Lumi can sometimes go away in this entire thing, and so you just have this black sort of outline and lines attached to you. And it looks a little bit different than what you would normally see here. I think two people ended up using their turbines, and we did a super pull. So they went a little further than they should have. And I took some damage. I'm blocking, getting AP again. So I'm about halfway on up. And in here, it's basically about making sure that all of your mobs try to go after you instead of going after the other players that are in your group. They're squishy, you're not, is basically the way to think about it. So you want to take the hits for them. My Knight's Challenge is really good in here because the closest person to me, I'll take 80%, I believe, of their damage. I'll have to double check on that, but I believe that's the case. And what that allow for me to be able to do is to stand by someone who's potentially taking a lot of damage. It also takes all of the aggro that they generate, so if you have a person that's just stealing a whole bunch of aggro from you, that's a good thing to use. The downside of it is that you can get one shot. So if that person just decides that they're going to take damage over time, walk out of the circle, and you're attached to them, then you're just basically, they're going to kill you instead of killing themselves first. So that's just something to be aware of, and as we go along, just continuing here, walk outside, take a little more damage, trying to raise all the way on up to be able to use my daily at the beginning here. And I believe we have like 2 more mob sets, if I'm not mistaken, at this point in time. So I should use my daily, pull everything in. Didn't pull very well. Probably should have used it a little bit earlier. And we have one last large mob set to get through. Most people, you should be sort of standing in the middle. I didn't do that here, so that was bad on me. And you want to try to force everything in here. You don't want to take hits from these massive guys here. They are basically going to one-shot your DPS. I've seen many a hardcore run fail here, just simply because one of the DPS takes aggro for everything and just gets one-shot. And at the beginning of every one of these phases, if you're a DPS and you don't want to get one shot, one of the things that you can do is dodge it when everything spawns at the beginning. Abuse your mechanics that are in the game that are supposed to help you survive. And so your dodge mechanic makes you invulnerable for a second after you use it. So why not use something that's in the game to fully help you get through there unscathed. And there we go, we finished this part, and we'll go ahead and end this part of the video, and see you in the next one.